Right now, this morning, new tariffs hitting Wisconsin farmers. Coming up, how these trade policies are impacting local agriculture. And some new endorsements in the La Crosse mayoral race. Coming up, the key supporters backing each candidate and why.
It's colder today, and of course, we've got some storm activity as we finish out the week. More about that in just a moment.
This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Tuesday, March 11th. We were saying yesterday it turned out to be a great afternoon,
right.
But a little cooler today?
Yes, a little bit on the cooler side. As we go through sunrise, it's going to get much colder as we get into it. Why? Because there's that frontal boundary that came through last night, and it's still kind of moving down from Ladysmith to Eau Claire and then working its way out to Wausau. And the base of that is starting to work its way down to the central portion of this region here. So that means us as we get into the sunrise time. We also have the colder conditions as we go through the day, but we'll gradually warm you up. You take a look here as we get into it. Warmer by midweek, and then those storms come in as we go into Friday and Saturday, and the potential for that mostly rainfall. But once we get into Saturday it will turn into snow, and at nighttime we'll go right into early Sunday morning with a little bit of snow activity. So that's the system that's happening right now. Out of the way it goes. We'll hold on to current temperatures in the 30s all the way to the 40s right now, but some of those temperatures will begin to cool, as I mentioned, as that cooler air starts to slip down from the north. Feels like it's in the 20s right now, in the 30s in your forecast, but once we get through it, La Crosse, you've got sunshine on the way to get you into the 40s later on for the afternoon, while Eau Claire is in and out of the sunshine as well, holding on to more of that cloud cover coming back later on in the evening, but your highs in the 40s as well.
Thank you, Art. Today, President Donald Trump set to address a gathering of business leaders. It'll be his first public comments since this steep stock market drop yesterday, which was brought on after the president declined to rule out a recession during a television interview. The trade war also continues to escalate. CBS News' Derek Waller has more.
All eyes on Wall Street this morning after stocks tumbled once again Monday. The White House downplaying those steep losses.
I think that we're pretty close to having the uncertainty behind us, and as you know, when that happens, then the economy really lifts off.
But some U.S. companies are moving forward cautiously. Goldman Sachs and Delta Airlines are the latest to downgrade their economic outlooks, citing weakening consumer demand and trade concerns.
Yeah, I'm worried about the tariffs. The income is fixed.
Meanwhile, China slapped new retaliatory tariffs on U.S. agricultural products like beef, poultry, and wheat. And the Premier of Ontario, Canada, added a 25% surcharge on electricity exports to 3 states, prompting the president to respond on social media, writing, "We don't need your energy."
The House will be in order.
On Capitol Hill, the House could vote as soon as today on a GOP bill to avoid a partial government shutdown Friday, though at least one Republican, Kentucky's Thomas Massie, says he'll vote no. The president on social media called for him to be primary. House Democratic leaders say they also won't support it.
The House Republican so-called spending bill does nothing to protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
There's new fears those programs are in jeopardy after Trump's right-hand man, Elon Musk, attacked them once again.
Most of the federal spending is entitlements. That's like the big one to eliminate.
This despite President Trump's previous pledge not to cut them.
Even if the House passes the spending bill, it'll still need to get through the Senate in order to avert a shutdown. Tomorrow, the president's 25% tariff on aluminum and steel imports also set to kick in. Concerned community members were out protesting against cuts to Medicaid in La Crosse. The protest took place on West Avenue near the Mayo Clinic. One demonstrator talked about how the cuts would affect our community.
Things show up on TV and on Facebook and other news media, but a lot of people just scroll by and they don't pay attention, and it doesn't affect them. So who cares? You need to care. You need to care. You need to pay attention, because if it doesn't affect you, it affects your neighbor.
She also urges people to stay informed and go out and vote in the spring election. In the La Crosse mayoral race, Chris Kalo picking up an endorsement from Vicki Markison.
Having the support of Vicki is really important to this campaign. She's been a leader here in the community for a very long time. We have worked together on a lot of projects and issues, and so I am really, really inspired by her support for me.
Markison was 45 votes short of beating Kalo in the primary. And Shondell Washington Spivey racking up the backing of former La Crosse Mayor John Mettinger. In a letter to the editor in the La Crosse Tribune, Mettinger says Spivey Washington won't just sit on the 6th floor office at City Hall. He'll be out daily among us, hearing what we have to say. La Crosse mayoral candidates also speaking on hot button topics at a mayoral forum last night that was hosted by the Apartment Association of the La Crosse area. Questions focused on rental housing development, and homelessness.
So this gives our members an opportunity to ask more specific questions. For example, everybody supports Pathways Home, but tonight we would like to find out what specifically about that plan is different than what's been done before, and how is that exactly going to bring a new solution to the table.
Questions asked were submitted ahead of time. Absentee ballots for the April 1st spring election go out today to voters with requests on file. Ballots must include a witness signature when you return it. The deadline to request a ballot is Thursday, March 27th. You can track your ballot at myvote.wi.gov. Toma voters can meet their local candidates tonight. The Rotary and Chamber will host forums at Cranberry Country Lodge starting at 6 p.m. All 5 alderperson candidates will appear first, followed by the 4 school board contenders. The event is free. A Toma teen accused of attempted murder appeared in court. 18-year-old Leo Pugrim faces attempted homicide charges after allegedly stabbing someone during a fight. The court entered not guilty pleas on his behalf. Police say the stabbing happened on Glendale Avenue, leaving the victim with wounds to the upper torso and hand. A UWL student facing sexual assault charges is headed to trial. 19-year-old Logan Zdanowicz allegedly assaulted a woman at Laux Hall. He's free on a $5,000 bond and will enter his plea at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Josie Dykeman failed to get a child neglect charge dismissed in the death of 6-year-old AJ Padrin. She's facing 3 felonies, including first-degree intentional homicide from the 2023 case. Dykeman has pleaded not guilty. She remains free on a $50,000 cash bond. Her jury's trial starts in August. La Crosse police asking for the public's help after a shooting on the north side that happened on Logan Street. One person was hurt. News 8 Now's Allison Fergit spoke with nearby residents about the terrifying scene.
This is the first time that something like this has happened, at least on this block.
Carson Westby has lived on Logan Street for the last 8 months.
Very nice neighbors, so I wouldn't expect anything.
He says the neighborhood has always been relatively safe until Sunday evening.
I had my window open, I heard one gunshot, so I took a peek out.
Westby says he saw a group of teenage boys jumping another boy.
And then I heard another shot, and then I saw 3 run. And then the one boy was on the floor.
Witnesses say a neighbor jumped into action, helping the wounded teenager to nearby doorsteps. The neighbor and his wife applied a tourniquet to the teen's arm where he had been shot. Police arrived shortly after.
I didn't really hear any confrontation beforehand or anything. It seems like they came running from the school area this way, and then that's when the incident happened.
Westby and other witnesses say they didn't recognize any of the people involved and don't believe they live in the neighborhood.
I would never expect it to happen this close to me. I know there's been other situations around here, but kind of startled a little bit.
Westby says he's not worried about his neighborhood. Other witnesses agree, saying they were just unlucky it happened close to where they live.
I think it was an isolated incident. I don't think it would just happen randomly to anybody out here.
Reporting in La Crosse, Allison Fergit, News 8 Now, This Morning.
So far, police have not said whether any arrests have been made. A woman accused of killing 1 person and injuring 2 children in a DUI crash faces a motion hearing today. 24-year-old Savannah Myers was arrested after a crash that killed 25-year-old Joshua Hernandez. Myers faces multiple charges, including homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. Her motion hearing starts at 1:30. Los Angeles prosecutors say they won't support releasing the Menendez brothers from prison now. District Attorney Nathan Hochman claims they've maintained a decades-long lie that the 1989 murders of their parents were self-defense. The brothers are serving life sentences without parole. The court can still proceed with the resentencing hearing scheduled for March 20th. Federal immigration authorities arresting a prominent Palestinian activist who led protests at Columbia University. Mahmoud Khalil was taken into custody Saturday after his green card was revoked, according to his attorney. Migrant rights groups say he's been transferred to an ICE detention center in Louisiana, making legal defense more difficult. The ACLU calls Khalil's arrest unprecedented and illegal.
Our message to Washington is that we are not silenced, we are not afraid, and we stand together, determined to defeat this ongoing assault on our fundamental rights.
According to Secretary of State Marco Rubio, the Trump administration plans to revoke green cards of Hamas supporters. Khalil, who is a lawful permanent resident, had called on Columbia University to stop supporting Israel. The Trump administration stands by the arrest, citing a provision in immigration law. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers brought his state budget tour to UW-Eau Claire. His budget includes $1.6 billion for brick and mortar projects across the UW system. The visit comes weeks after the State Building Commission approved projects to replace several UW-Eau Claire buildings.
I would say this should have been dealt with a lot earlier, but a lot of competing campuses looking for the same thing. But this is obviously a really important one.
Today, Governor Evers is expected to visit UW-La Crosse. City Brewery getting a parking break in La Crosse. The Board of Public Works reversing its plan to end a parking lease deal over that odor. It said the brewery wasn't doing enough to stop the smells coming from a leak in their roof. The brewery now plans to fix it this year, they say. The time now is 6:09. Still ahead on your morning news, the DHS now facing major program cuts. Concerns among Americans around inflation grow, and mortgage giant Rocket buys Redfin's brokerage platform. And new tariffs are causing fear and frustration for Wisconsin farmers. Coming up, we'll take a closer look at the local impact of the trade war. And we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Police officers in Michigan had an interesting call when they were called to rescue a deer that was trapped in a home's window well. Video here captured the officers using a strap to lift the deer out of the well and free it. As you start to wake up this morning, leaving you with a quick wake-up call, the city that invented the Zamboni and the life preserver, Salt Lake City, Utah. Two things kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum. Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is after the break.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Hey, there he is. Let's do this. Right now, you can lease a new 2025 Camry for $329 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
I'm Mike Rowe, and this is the most honest commercial you're going to see all week.
Today, we're waterproofing a basement.
How long do you think this problem has been a problem?
Well, actually, the homeowner told us that she's lived here for 42 years, and when they first moved in, they had water issues.
Yeah.
That is like your telltale sign of like, hey, I'm having an issue, and that's when people should call.
Get a free and honest inspection with Innovative Basement Authority, a Groundworks company.
At Wisconsin Veterinary Orthopedics, our goal is to help you and your pet in times of need. We specialize in the gold standard for cruciate ligament repair, the TPLO.
I was amazed to see Bear up and running again so soon. They really took good care of him.
Piper had TPLO surgery and is already running again weeks later.
Fetch made possible, one knee at a time. Contact Dr. Mark Hine at Wisconsin Veterinary Orthopedics for an orthopedic consultation today.
When she was a lawyer, Susan Crawford defended Planned Parenthood.
And she personally trusts women to decide whether to have an abortion.
Not Brad Schimmel.
He wants to take us back to the 1849 law
that bans abortion for rape and the health of the mother.
So Susan Crawford is the common sense judge who will protect our rights. And Brad Schimmel is the extremist who will take them away.
That's why we need
Susan Crawford. Susan Crawford.
Susan Crawford on the Supreme Court.
This is our home. Family and Children's Center has been supporting families in La Crosse and Winona for over 140 years. As time has gone by, we've expanded our services to include abuse prevention, mental health treatment, and so much more. Visit fcconline.org to see how our nearly 30 programs are strengthening communities throughout western Wisconsin and southeastern Minnesota. Better tomorrows start with us.
The Sparta Innovation STEM Academy, recognized as Wisconsin's #1 charter middle school, has open enrollment until March 31st for incoming 6th graders. Enroll now in meaningful applications of science, technology, engineering, and mathematical concepts. The Sparta Innovation STEM Academy, located in Meadowview Middle School, provides a teacher-led, inquiry, problem-based learning environment. Learn more at www.isasparta.com.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Love it.
Go from dreaming it to driving it today.
Right now, you can lease a new 2024 Prius for $289 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, well, good morning to you. Despite having a nice little batch of moisture working across the area, the roadways are still dry as you get out to Menominee. Holding on to 33 degrees right now. It feels like it's 23 degrees out there. You get to Onalaska, you're looking at 40-degree temperatures out there. The roadways look fantastic. Holding on to 32 degrees, what it feels like on your skin out and about. For the kids going to school, though, you're looking at 37 degrees, possibly a wee bit cooler as the colder air continues to drop down on top of us from the north. We'll hold on to a cold start. Then in the afternoon, we have cool sunshine on the way with 48 degrees in your local forecast. We'll take it over to Eau Claire, though, 31 degrees, maybe a wee bit cooler as well, as the feels like temperature will start to be a little bit cooler on your skin, but it will be a cold start for you. You'll also see heading into the afternoon, you're at 42 degrees, possibly getting into cool afternoon with in and out of the clouds. We'll call it at least partly to mostly cloudy skies. You can see those clouds for La Crosse getting in and out of the clouds this early morning, getting into the afternoon, doing the same. Eau Claire, you'll hold on to partly cloudy skies, sunshine about. Once you finish out the morning, back into mostly sunny skies, getting into at least partly cloudy skies to finish your day. Highs for everybody, though, we're looking at 40 degrees down to about, say, 52 degrees. Everyone's in the sunshine to mostly sunny skies today, then increasing clouds as we finish out. However, once I get into your today's forecast, though, as I come back here to show you what's going to be happening, I'll show you how it plays out for today, getting into a midweek warm-up as well, with 50s and 60s. Then into Friday and Saturday, your rain and storm activity. We'll take a look at that as well. Back to you.
In your consumer news, frustration and fear for Wisconsin farmers over President Trump's tariffs. News 8 Now's Grace Monk takes a closer look at the local impact.
Farmers in western Wisconsin are concerned over Trump's tariffs. They say it's something that could hurt their business, communities, and eventually consumer pockets.
And the people that continue to get up early every single day and make sure that all of us have the food and the fiber that we rely upon as a people and as a nation, they're at risk.
Wisconsin farmers are bracing for the effects of a trade war caused by tariffs imposed on Canada, Mexico, and China. These countries happen to be Wisconsin's top export markets.
When we have those bad years, which looks like we're headed for right now, we're not going to have that income to go out and update our equipment, update our facilities and everything.
Losing these markets would be detrimental to family-owned farms.
With our crops, especially soybeans, it's going to really hurt. Majority of the corn grown in the U.S. goes to Mexico, and if we have tariffs with them, it's going to hurt us, and it's going to be a tax on the rest of the people.
They're worried they'll lose the markets for good, leaving consumers to cover the cost.
Once you lose a market, which happened back in Trump's first presidency, we haven't got those markets back.
If you continue to see losses in agriculture, it will have a ripple effect throughout this region and this state. It can impact everything from the grocery stores to the convenience stores to the supper clubs.
Farmers say right now they're preparing for the worst but hoping for the best. In Berry Mills, Grace Monk, News 8 Now this morning.
And some controversial budget cuts are now hitting the Department of Homeland Security. A memo from Secretary Kristi Noem shows the department has eliminated a program allowing companies to share information with the government about cybersecurity risks. Sources tell CNN some U.S. officials have expressed concern about eliminating this program. It's firing more than 100 of its employees and pausing all of its election security work pending a review. More people are worried about the national economy. According to the latest Consumer Expectations Survey, many Americans are losing confidence in the U.S. job market. They also say inflation is no longer easing and believe they'll have greater economic problems a year from now. Researchers add the number of consumers who said they have an increased chance of not being able to make minimum debt payments rose to levels not seen since April 2020. Mortgage giant Rocket is buying Redfin's online real estate brokerage. The Wall Street Journal reports the all-stock deal is worth $1.75 billion. The deal aims to connect Redfin's nearly 50 million monthly visitors to Rocket's mortgage products. The combined company also now set up competition with Zillow to snare the attention of prospective homebuyers. That's a look at your consumer news. We'll send it over to Art now. He's got a look at our forecast.
All right, and away we go with that. Again, colder conditions to start your early morning, getting into a midweek warm-up, though, and then storms to follow that as we get into Friday and Saturday. Let's take a look there. If you want to join me with that, we'll go right into it here with a look over in Eau Claire. As we go through the afternoon, you're holding on to 30s and some 40s working into your forecast, possibly getting up to about 42 for your high today. You'll see it still feels a little bit cooler on your skin, just by a couple of degrees. And, of course, as we get into La Crosse, we'll do similar conditions as well. Sunshine for you abound, getting back into at least 3 o'clock. You're looking at 48 degrees, possibly into 49 degrees, and then finishing out your day, it'll feel a few degrees cooler on your skin as well. Everybody else, though, in the forecast, we've got this little weekend frontal boundary that's kind of dropped down on top of us as we go through sunrise. So we're still cooling. You can see upper 20s as you go into Eau Claire, as well as Ladysmith. Wausau's in that as well. We're going to see our temperatures mostly in the 30s, getting into the 40s. So it's going to feel a lot cooler on your skin within the next 45 minutes or so. Then we're going to be getting into the 10 o'clock hour, holding on to everybody still up in the upper 20s to at least low to middle 30s, maybe some upper 30s down to the south as well. Then the 40s come back as we get in the afternoon, holding on to 36 though for Ladysmith, and still 41 as you get into Eau Claire, with more 40s for everybody else to spend the day for your highs for the afternoon. All right, so we get into it with increasing clouds into the afternoon as we go into the evening hours as well. Here you're going to be seeing these gradually take up to at least mostly cloudy to cloudy skies up to the north, partly cloudy skies down to the south here for us, and then continuing to open up those clouds as we finish out, but those clouds up to the north stick around. We'll go right back into how this all shakes out for Wednesday as we get into your midweek warm-up. Temperatures mostly in the 50s and the 60s, so we're getting back to near seasonal average, and then eventually we get into Friday. Well, we'll see warmer conditions coming in. We'll have some upper 50s to 60s for Thursday, but Friday, well, despite the rainfall, we're looking at 70-degree heat working in the forecast as that Gulf moisture comes up. Rainfall continues to drive all the way from Friday night into Saturday. Thunderstorm activity could be associated with that as well, taking us into snow, then turning into Saturday night, and then that starts to work into the overnight forecast into Sunday, where Sunday morning we're possibly in the early hours still holding on to a little bit of that snow working down to the ground. So we've got the rainfall that comes into the forecast. We've got the snow that also drives into the forecast as well. In fact, you can see our highs for the day, 40s and the 50s as we finish out, going into more along the lines of that midweek increase in temperature. 75 for Friday. That's some serious high temperature, getting into much cooler conditions as we go through Saturday, Sunday, and into St. Patrick's Day for Monday. Have a great day.
We could use some of that heat in here. Thank you, Art. Still ahead, a cooling therapy is helping cancer patients keep their hair during chemotherapy. We'll tell you how the Paxim machine works and why doctors say it's offering patients a sense of normalcy.
Coming up next in the Blitz, the Caledonia girls basketball team preparing for what they hope to be a long postseason run. That and more on the way soon.
This is the highlight of my day, but my hip pain made it a struggle. My personalized arch support system got me back in the picture.
Clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Book your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on this Silverado. Or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
I'm Steve from Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions. If you see discoloration or damaged wood here, that can mean rotted materials here. Cheap repairs or inserts can cause bigger problems fast. You need a trusted window company to replace the window and fix the surrounding materials correctly. Our team will complete our Weather Guardian 15-step installation process on every job to ensure your home and family are safe before we leave. Save $100 off each window and door, plus an additional $500 off when you purchase 10 windows or more, plus no interest financing available.
Dreaming of a career but worried about time and cost? At CVTC, we make it easy. With low tuition costs and a wide variety of programs to choose from, we'll get you job ready in just 1 to 2 years. You'll graduate with minimal debt and find a career you love with competitive starting salaries. Dive into your future today with affordable, fast, and rewarding programs at CVTC. Visit cvtc.edu to learn more.
When my sister was murdered 15 years ago, Brad Schimmel kept his promise to us. He told us he was going to get us justice, and he did. When I see these commercials attacking him, I have a lot to say about that, because Brad would kneel next to my mom and hold her hands. And you're going to tell me that's a person that doesn't care about victims? I'm sorry, that is not true. Brad puts victims first, and that's the type of person that should be in the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
You trust the First Warn Weather Team to keep you safe, and even better, you can take us with you. Expect more with hourly temps and conditions, video forecast, interactive radar, and your choice of notifications. We're there when you need us.
The News 8 Plus app. Local news on your time.
Welcome to the Blitz. Well, we've got one area girls basketball team still standing as the Caledonia Warriors will take to the Minnesota State Tournament later this week. It's the first time they've been there since 2019, and this year's squad ready to make a statement. Warriors will enter the state tournament with a 27-3 record on the year. They're averaging just under 60 points a game while holding opponents to just over 30. They're a team that takes pride in their defense and hard work, and now they've been rewarded with a trip to Minneapolis.
It's really surreal kind of getting to the state tournament, realizing it's like our last few games, but I've been dreaming of this moment, so I think it's kind of like a goal was really accomplished.
It just feels really good because, you know, all the hard work you did paid off, and it's so good to win with your team.
Now Caledonia will have their biggest test of the year, which is a quarterfinal matchup against a fantastic Minnehaha Academy team. But head coach Scott Sorensen says the Warriors are up for the challenge.
They're extremely quick. They're athletic. They're going to spread the floor and try to dribble drive at us. They've got a 4,000-point scorer in Addie Mack, and so we got to know where she's at because she's really quick. I like the matchup because you know, again, anytime you're at this level, you just love being there, but you love the matchup because I feel we can compete with them.
Minnehaha is the 3 seed. The Warriors are the 6. This one set to start Wednesday at 8 p.m. at Maturi Pavilion in Minneapolis. And from one Warrior team to another, the fun is just about to get started for the Winona State men, who are back in the NCAA Division II tournament for the first time since 2014. On Sunday, the Warriors were given the 3 seed in the Central Region quarterfinal pairings, and they'll take on Southwest Minnesota State, who they're 2-1 against this season. That game will be played on Saturday at noon in Topeka, Kansas, with the winner taking on the winner of MSU Moorhead and Fort Hays State. All right, that'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Ready for a better career with excellent pay, benefits, and work-life balance? Chart Industries is hiring fabricators. Join the team that's shaping the future and providing awesome pay and excellent benefits. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
Protect yourself from the harsh sun with Sonesta retractable awnings and solar screens from Asher Lasting Exteriors. With over 150 fabrics to choose from and the largest sizes available, you can create shade to match your home and style. Use promo code 15 and receive up to 20% off your entire project, plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for up to 12 months. Connect with the Asher team today and request a free, no-obligation consultation at goasher.com or call us at 888-GO-ASHER.
I'm Judge Susan Crawford. Right now, there's a lot of false ads trying to tell you who I am. So I thought I'd tell you myself. As a former prosecutor and now as a judge, I've made sure rapists, murderers, and child predators were behind bars. I believe in protecting your family and your right to privacy, and that women have the right to make their own decisions about their health care. Because to me, that's just common sense. And that's why I'm running for Supreme Court.
To everyone who believes in tradition, come enjoy a few of ours from Wisconsin.
People in Wisconsin love a good fish fry.
Really love. And we love sharing it with guests everywhere.
At Culver's, we still batter our North Atlantic cod by hand to order.
And we cook it to a crispy, golden perfection just for you.
For you.
For you.
So it's crispy outside, flaky inside. Let us take care of you.
With some homegrown traditions we were raised on.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
It's tournament time at Osseo Automotive, and the savings are giant.
And so is the selection.
Get giant discounts on new in-stock EVs, like $13,000 off on a new 2024 Silverado 4WT. Get $12,000 off a 2024 Blazer EV, or over $3,000 off and 0% financing on a 2024 Equinox 2RS all-wheel drive.
You'll never see anything this big again.
Giant tournament sales going on now at Osseo Ford, Nelson Gunderson Chevrolet, Fountain City Ford, and Rudy's in Whitehall.
Hey, I went to the new place. They didn't have everything, but the bananas were on sale.
Wait, why didn't you go to Woodman's?
Hi, we're the Woodmans. I'm Clint.
I'm Phil.
Other stores promote a few items but charge more for everything else. At Woodmans, you save big time money on your whole grocery bill.
I even use the app to compare prices.
Oh my gosh, talk about receipt regret. Our work here is done.
Service and savings. It's Woodman's.
Ready for a better career with excellent pay, benefits, and work-life balance? Chart Industries is hiring fabricators. Join the team that's shaping the future and providing awesome pay and excellent benefits. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
Forecast is more than just temps and sky conditions. It's about how it affects your day. And every day, I'll break it down in a way that makes sense, especially when you're heading out the door. See you tomorrow morning.
The First Warn Weather app. Download it today. You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
In your morning medical news, today marks 5 years since COVID-19 was declared a pandemic. The World Health Organization made that designation after determining the outbreak was an international public health emergency. The previous pandemic was 2009's H1N1 flu, which killed hundreds of thousands globally. According to the CDC, nearly 1.2 million Americans have died from COVID-19. And on this pandemic anniversary, the federal government has stopped accepting orders for free at-home COVID tests. Health officials haven't explained why the program has been paused or if it's permanently shut down. Orders placed before 8 o'clock Sunday will still be shipped. At-home tests remain available at grocery stores and pharmacies for you to purchase. The FDA is moving to close a controversial food safety loophole. The generally recognized as safe or GRAS rule has long allowed manufacturers to add certain food additives without regulatory approval. Critics argue the current system enables companies to introduce ingredients with minimal oversight. The proposed changes aim to increase transparency in the nation's food supply. A new type of therapy is helping chemotherapy patients save their hair by freezing their scalps. Elizabeth Shores has more on the new treatment.
So this is to make it so it doesn't freeze to my head.
When Debbie Baca first started discussing chemotherapy with her doctors, a nurse told her about a new therapy that could help save her hair.
The goal is to have it where people see you and not your sickness. It's just freezing and feels like you have like an ice pack on your head all around it.
Debbie says since she has a teenage daughter and works with kids and teens, maintaining some semblance of normalcy felt important to her. And the Paxman machine seemed promising.
We're talking with kids who might have big things they've already gone through, and I didn't want to be part of their trauma.
And that normalcy isn't just for their benefit.
For me, it also makes it so that I don't look in the mirror and have like a panic that I'm going through this, you know? So it gives me like a little more peace just seeing myself normal, because I've heard other people, because I haven't experienced it before of losing my hair. I just hear other people that they have trouble like looking in the mirror and seeing themselves without hair.
They'll just pop their token on here and then it kind of wakes up the machine.
RN Trisha James says patients put on a cooling cap followed by another cap, which freezes the hair follicle cells in the wearer's scalp. She says that helps prevent the hair fallout people usually experience when undergoing chemo.
Our patients that are currently using the machine have been happy so far with the results, and just like that they're actively doing something to help during this whole process. They're trying something to save a bit of normalcy in their lives.
She says there will still be hair fallout. For some people, it can be as much as 50%. But she says undergoing the treatment significantly boosts hair regrowth speed after chemo. Treatment sessions last for several hours. Debbie has her husband with her to keep her company, and they're making their way through quite a few videos while they wait. They'll be back again in about 2 weeks.
And Onalaska schools have a new leader this morning. The district picked Ben Barton as its next superintendent. He comes with strong credentials, previously leading Princeton Public Schools and serving as Caledonia's superintendent. Last week, he met with the community during a public forum.
Ben impressed us with his vast knowledge of not only what the role involves and entails, but how that role works cooperatively with the Board of Education.
Barton is expected to move into his role on July 1st. If you need a hand with your taxes this year, Western Technical College offering tax filing assistance today from 3 to 5 at Western's Toma location. It's designed for households earning under $84,000. Bring last year's tax return and your W-2s. Winter won't stop horseshoe enthusiasts anymore. A unique partnership between the American Legion and a horseshoe club is keeping the game alive even in cold weather.
Becker, Minnesota is smack dab in the middle of Sherburne County, and it's a place where even in the winter, you'll hear the sounds of summer.
It's a sport that's very, very easy to learn, hard to master.
Who better to learn horseshoes from than a club called Clank and Thud? The group includes some of the best players in the state because they have the advantage of playing year-round, thanks to a special situation. So when it's 6 degrees outside, it's 60 degrees inside.
This used to be the old fire hall, and then it was full of junk.
Organizer Russ Gertz says 10 years ago he approached the Becker American Legion about their old building next door. He told them Clank and Thud would clean up the place and help utilize the space if they could set up horseshoe courts. The Legion happily agreed.
It is a unique facility. It's hard to find places to play in the winter.
Local students and Sons of the American Legion have helped fix up the building and help volunteer during tournaments. Those competitions can get pretty fierce. Just ask 79-year-old Marlis Tim.
Oh, it gets competitive. Yeah, you want to win. You know, you can't be Mr. Nice Guy.
Some pitchers still use the horseshoes their grandparents used.
This is one example, 2.5 pounds roughly.
Now we're measuring for the point.
Game rules are the same, whether you're inside or outside.
A shoe that encircles a stake is worth 3 points. A shoe that is within 6 inches is 1 point. The stakes are 40 feet apart.
The pits are filled with clay that feels more like Play-Doh, and it offers a soft landing. Even among the really good pitchers, there are ringers, just like Kathy Zeman. She's a state champ who's been playing for more than 50 years.
I'm like, I don't like to lose.
You don't like to lose. I can tell already you don't like to lose. I can see in your eyes. Her patented arm swing is very effective in Becker. Good job. And she makes easy work of first-timers who are just trying not to hit the lights on the ceiling or the spectators on the sidelines. Mike, I'm just sending a message, Mike. The horseshoe is a symbol of good luck, just not for me. There we go. But the folks here simply want visitors to have fun. They're hoping for a horseshoe renaissance, and even as the weather warms up, they may just stay indoors.
It's a lifelong opportunity, lifelong sport that anyone can play. Enjoy the game, enjoy the camaraderie it brings.
Becker has Horseshoe League every week during the winter and tournaments every month. Anyone is welcome to play, and they offer lessons right there. Now we'll send it over to meteorologist Art Jarrett. He's got a look at our morning commute.
All right, and away we go. Plenty of sunshine to start this early morning once we get into it past sunrise. Holding on to 9 o'clock, you're looking at all that sunshine for La Crosse, continuing to the late morning hours, back into the afternoon as well. Then mostly sunny skies pop into the picture here. We'll finish out the day, 48 degrees for you, holding on to increasing clouds through your evening hours. We get to Eau Claire, similar conditions. We're holding on to mostly sunny skies after sunrise. You notice we'll cool it down a bit, warming back up, and then hold on to the afternoon, getting into mostly sunny skies to partly cloudy skies. That'll continue to increase as you go through the evening up to mostly cloudy as you get into the evening hours, finishing out your commute. Temperatures for you, your high possibly about 42 degrees. You'll look at the day for everybody else though, 40 to about say 52 degrees out there. You've got New Albany holding on to 51 degrees. You get into Trumpaloo about 49, Black River Falls 49, as well as Sparta, Toma doing the same. Up to the north, you're going to hold on to at least Medford about 40 degrees. Then we get into the tomorrow's forecast. You'll see more clouds cloud cover working into your forecast for Eau Claire, where you're looking at partly cloudy skies, holding on through pretty much through the day, increasing to mostly cloudy skies possibly. Or we go right back into sunnier skies for La Crosse, getting into sunny skies with a high just around, say, between 53 and 57 degrees. Get out and enjoy that if you can. Hey, coming up on our Buzz Report, this is what I've got going on for you. Former First Lady Michelle Obama is jumping back into the podcast world. Coming up, more on her new podcast, When to Expect its release. Stick around.
Working with Maxwell White was amazing. They were professional, answered all of my questions.
I give Maxwell White my highest possible recommendation.
Maxwell White did a fabulous job on our shower. 5-star plumbing service done right.
When my sister was murdered 15 years ago, Brad Schimmel kept his promise to us. He told us he was going to get us justice, and he did. When I see these commercials attacking him, I have a lot to say about that, because Brad would kneel next to my mom and hold her hands. And you're going to tell me that's a person that doesn't care about victims? I'm sorry, that is not true. Brad puts victims first, and that's the type of person that should be in the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Stella Jones Corporation in Bangor has immediate openings and wants you to apply. They say this job takes grit, attention to detail, and ability to work as a team. Stella Jones Corporation is where safety matters and wages sustain a comfortable living. If you have what it takes and can stand behind our railroads, then we want you to apply today.
Dreaming of a career but worried about time and cost? At CVTC, we make it easy. With low tuition costs and a wide variety of programs to choose from, we'll get you job ready in just 1 to 2 years. You'll graduate with minimal debt and find a career you love with competitive starting salaries. Dive into your future today with affordable, fast, and rewarding programs at CVTC. Visit cvtc.edu to learn more.
The camper. It has been a reliable companion for your family's good times. But after years of use, it has shown some wear and tear. A broken window from an errant baseball, a couch that your dog allegedly chewed on, and an AC unit that doesn't work like it should. It's time to call Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. We have been improving your family's camper since 1970. Call us today and we will make your camper feel brand new. Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. Repair, refinish, remarkable.
Have you checked your sump pump lately? After a big rain, basement flooding can significantly damage your home. Stay ahead and dry with a call to Maxwell White. We have standard pumps along with battery backup systems in case you lose power. Prevent future damage. Contact Maxwell White today.
Your commute, your lunchtime, your drive home. Is it going to be clear, rainy, or worse? Every morning, I'll let you know. We'll see you then.
Okay, I just gave you an overview of what's going to transpire as we go through the next couple of days here. Colder conditions ahead of us as we go through this afternoon. And of course, another weak frontal boundary comes in overnight tonight, and that's going to go right through Wednesday. And that's going to linger up to the north, bringing a little bit of light snow up there. Then we take it over to rain and snow and thunderstorm activity as we get into Friday going into Saturday. And this could actually spill over into early morning Sunday, or at least overnight going into Sunday. Take a look at what I've got going on for you. And by the time we get into sunrise today, we're holding on to temperatures getting much colder. You see this little loop here. This is that boundary that continues to go from that passing frontal boundary that came through overnight last night, and that's why we're so cold today. We'll get into the 10 o'clock hour, start to gradually warm you back up, but we're still in the 30s because of that. Holding on to the 3 o'clock hour, though, we get into the 30s and the 40s in your forecast, trying to warm you back up, and we're done. Clouds come back in. We start going the other opposite direction as far as cooling comes into forecast here as we finish out going to the 8 o'clock hour. Highs for Wednesday, as I've shown you once before, we're looking at 50s, 60s come back in, so we're starting to warm you up going through midweek. Clouds decrease, sunny and mild conditions will ensue. Once we go through Wednesday, we get into Thursday, 65 degrees possibly in your forecast for us. And then, of course, for La Crosse, we could get 75 degrees on Friday. And despite the rainfall, that continues into at least 58 degrees going into Saturday, and that's a potential for rain turning into snow. As you can see here, all that rainfall getting picked up from the Gulf of Mexico. It starts to pick it up and pull it right back into the north here as we go right back into Saturday. Once we get into Saturday in the evening and overnight, we start turning to snow. That rain and snow mix starts to happen. It starts to continue to move right all the way into Sunday, where you're seeing more snow finishing out, carrying over into Sunday early morning hours, and then eventually we start to see that pull out of the area as we go into the noon hour and we're done. So we've got the rainfall chances coming in as we go through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, possibly dropping down on Sunday for sure. It's only about a 30% chance to a 20% chance. We get into the snow, you can see that continuing on for Friday, possibly going into Saturday night, and then eventually tapering off. What I have for you as we go into it, that warming conditions as we go past today, then we pick up warmer conditions for Wednesday going into Thursday. That's your midweek warm-up, carrying over into Friday as well, 75 degrees for our high. We've got PM storms coming into the forecast as well, carrying that over into Friday night into Saturday, where we've got that rainfall still continuing to Saturday, turning into a rain and snow mix in the overnight hours into Sunday, where we've got snowfall coming in overnight into the early morning for Sunday. Temperatures, as you can see, begin to drop. 75 down to 58 degrees, down to 39 degrees for your high. You're looking at least that for Sunday. Monday kicks in for St. Patrick's Day to take us into a nice day of 51 degrees back into the mild, finishing out on Tuesday. Have a great day.
In your morning buzz report, the New York Police Department says former talk show host Wendy Williams was taken to a New York hospital for evaluation. NYPD confirming officers conducted a wellness check at the senior living facility where she's been living. In 2023, her court-appointed guardian revealed she'd been diagnosed with dementia, but in recent months, Williams has refuted that diagnosis. Former First Lady Michelle Obama is jumping back into the podcast world with a new podcast, which will be called IMO, short for In My Opinion. She'll co-host the podcast with her older brother, basketball executive Craig Robinson. Some of the guests include director Tyler Perry and actor Seth Rogen and Issa Rae. The first 2 episodes will be released tomorrow.
Are you telling me that my breakthrough broke out?
This bot knows where to find my brother. I want him back.
Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt star in the sci-fi flick The Electric State. That will hit Netflix on Friday.
I have been here in the house with everyone for a day, and it feels like a year.
A family gathering takes a spooky turn in the comedy horror, The Parenting, which begins streaming on Thursday as well. And before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, Evelyn is turning 8 months. She loves to play with her older brother and crawling around and catching up with the puppies.
So cute. If you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know in 5 minutes or less coming your way right after the break.
Up on CBS Mornings, U.S. stocks tumbled yesterday on recession fears and President Trump's trade wars. We'll have the latest from Wall Street, and we'll ask Jill Schlesinger what you should be doing with your money during this time. Also, before you plan your next vacation, you'll want to hear this. A major airline is changing a policy that has been in place for more than half a century now. How it will cost you more when you fly. Yikes. And Oprah. There's only one. She's live in the studio today. She's going to reveal her latest book club selection, and the author will be here as well. We'll see you 7 o'clock on the dot.
Protect yourself from the harsh sun with Sonesta retractable awnings and solar screens from Asher Lassen Exteriors. Use promo code 15 and receive up to 20% off your entire project. Connect with the Asher team today and request a free, no-obligation consultation at goasher.com.
Where there's a flooded basement, musty crawl space, or wood rot, there's an answer. American Waterworks. For more than 30 years, American Waterworks has been solving homeowners' toughest waterproofing problems. Schedule your free inspection and estimate today.
When she was a lawyer, Susan Crawford defended Planned Parenthood.
And she personally trusts women to decide whether to have an abortion.
Not Brad Schimmel.
He wants to take us back to the 1849 law
that bans abortion for rape and the health of the mother.
So Susan Crawford is the common sense judge who will protect our rights. And Brad Schimmel is the extremist who will take them away.
That's why we need
Susan Crawford. Susan Crawford.
Susan Crawford on the Supreme Court.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on this Silverado. Or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
I'm Sheriff Todd Skarbin with an important message. Wisconsin law enforcement works extremely hard to keep you safe. So when liberal judges like Susan Crawford refuse to actually punish violent criminals, it undermines our entire system. She gave only 4 years to a guy who raped a 6-year-old, 2 years for a guy who beat his girlfriend and shot a man, and only 90 days for a guy who strangled a woman. We need judges to prioritize public safety. Liberal Judge Susan Crawford doesn't.
Tell Judge Crawford to stop releasing dangerous criminals.
Protect yourself from the harsh sun with Sonesta retractable awnings and solar screens from Asher Lassen Exteriors. Use promo code 15 and receive up to 20% off your entire project. Connect with the Asher team today and request a free, no-obligation consultation at goasher.com.
Spring is in the air.
Here you go. Oh! This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Cause you ain't seen nothing yet.
We make this show for you. It's so good. You gotta watch it every day.
Weekdays at 3 on News 8. The News 8 Plus app. Local news on your time.
Spring is in the air.
Here you go. Oh! This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Cause you ain't seen nothing yet.
We make this show for you. It's so good. You gotta watch it every day.
Weekdays at 3 on News 8.
Welcome to the Jennifer Hudson Show.
It's a choice. I choose every day.
Feel joy. This is joy right here.
This room is just full of
love. Let me show you how we do it. I got a few ladies here that you have inspired. You did it! Don't you want to meet those heroes? Come on out here. It feels so good to just be in the presence of his joy.
Weekdays at 4 on News 8.
Welcome back at 6:51. Time for your morning news now. A UWL student facing a sexual assault charge is bound over for trial. 19-year-old Logan Zdanowicz allegedly assaulted a woman at a dorm. After partying with her, he's free on a $5,000 bond. He'll enter his plea tomorrow at 2. Josie Dykeman failed to get a child neglect charge dismissed in the death of 6-year-old AJ Padrin. She's facing 3 felonies, including first-degree intentional homicide from the 2023 case. Dykeman has pleaded not guilty and remains free on a $50,000 cash bond. Her jury trial starts in August. Witnesses are describing a shooting on the Cross's north side. Neighbors say teenage boys were fighting on Logan Street Sunday when gunshots erupted. One teen was shot in the arm while the others fled the scene. A neighbor quickly applied a tourniquet to the victim's arm.
I would never expect it to happen this close to me. I know there's been other situations around here, but kind of startled a little bit.
So far, police haven't said whether any arrests have been made. Los Angeles' new district attorney says he is not in support of resentencing Eric and Lyle Menendez for the murders of their parents. Nathan Hoffman said the brothers have repeatedly lied about why they killed their parents and that their latest argument that they did it in self-defense does not match the facts of the case. The brothers' resentencing hearing is scheduled for later this month. The trade war with Canada is escalating. On Monday, Canada's largest province, Ontario, slapped a 25% tariff on electricity that's shipped to 1.5 million American homes and businesses in Michigan, Minnesota, and New York. Ontario Premier Doug Ford estimates the new tax will cost each household about $69 more a month. The House could vote today on a continuing resolution to keep the government open past Friday's deadline. It cuts about $13 billion in domestic spending and adds money for defense and immigration. The La Crosse mayoral race, Chris Kalo picking up an endorsement from Vicki Markison.
Support of Vicki is really important to this campaign. She's been a leader here in the community for a very long time. We have worked together on a lot of projects and issues, and so I am really, really inspired by her support for me.
In February, Markison was 45 votes short of beating Kalo in the primary. And Shondell Washington Spivey racking up the backing of former La Crosse Mayor John Mettinger. In a letter to the editor in the La Crosse Tribune, Mettinger said Spivey Washington won't just sit on the 6th floor office at City Hall, he'll be out with his constituents. Onalaska schools have a new leader. The district picked Ben Barton as its next superintendent. He comes with strong credentials, previously leading Princeton Public Schools and Caledonia.
Ben impressed us with his vast knowledge of not only what the role involves and entails, but how that role works cooperatively with the Board of Education.
Barton is expected to move into his new role in July. If you need a hand with your taxes, Western Tech offering tax assistance filing today, running from 3 to 5 at Western's Tomah location. Bring last year's tax return and your W-2s.
All right, let's take a quick look here at the rainfall potential coming in for this end of the week here for Friday, carrying over into increasing rain as we go into the evening hours and overnight, with rain continuing for Saturday. That rain will turn quickly into snow, potentially going into Sunday eventually, and you can see some of the totals there. Here we go, though, 49 degrees today with increasing temperatures through your midweek all the way into Friday as well. We'll see cooler conditions because of the rain and potentially snow coming into Saturday. And then by the time we get into Sunday, the day seems to be partly cloudy skies, 39 degrees, but a little bit on the warmer side getting into Monday and Tuesday.
Check out the world's smallest Lego brick. Guinness World Record says it is as tiny as a human white blood cell. Created in the UK, this microscopic marvel is an artistic triumph. The creator's latest work sits on a pinhead, dwarfed by a single strand of human hair. Not just small, this Lego sculpture is 4 times tinier than the previous world record holder. Wow, that's very small, yeah. World's tiniest Lego piece.
All right.
Thanks for starting your morning with us. We'll see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your day.